That's right. It's time to show me the money NFL picks for week number 3 here on the podcast. Joining me today, somebody who I've had a lot of fun talking about with Star Wars this summer. We got softball championship. His football team not doing so well. Nick Fraietta is here. Nick, how are you?
Besides my football team, I'm doing great. As you mentioned, all that other stuff's been great. Star Wars has been great, softball, but the football team, that is the New York Football Giants, less than ideal.
Yeah, and I thought I had a bad week. My quarterback threw 4 interceptions. You guys might have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, we could have won the game, but at the same time, should we have? Like he missed that field goal, and then he got to kick it again. But why did we get the ball back at all? Why were they throwing the ball with 2 minutes left, up winning on second down?
Yeah,
why we even had a chance in that game was weird. But yeah, this is a very concerning season.
Yeah, I mean, all the mistakes in that game, though. I mean, going down, you had the holding penalty wipe out a touchdown from Daniel Jones, who just, again, continues to own Washington, but you want to see him do against the rest of the league. You had Terry Slayton drop a touchdown in the end zone. You had Joe Judge go conservative when they get that miraculous pick and sell for 3 for the least. They're trying to go for the kill and the touchdown. And then you have Dexter Lawrence, who somehow is over the ball, winds up offsides. I know he argues that the refs missed the call, but don't make it close enough for them to miss it. I mean, all those mistakes just add up.
Yeah, and then that's the story of the Giants the last 9 years. It's how many mistakes can we make and still possible to lose a game. And somehow, some way, they've found a way over these last 9 years, minus that 1 year in the playoffs, but to only one of those years really just suck.
Yeah.
They're always just bad, below average, whatever. And I think that's why a lot of these people still have jobs. I think we all know who I'm talking about here.
Yes,
because they haven't imploded yet. They going 6-10, whatever, 6-11 this year. That's what I think they'll end up at. But they're not going 3-13, 3-14, 2-14, where it's enough to be like, all right, obviously you're out. Let's start over. And they haven't really. And it's crazy to say this because it's been how many years now? 5 years has been in the playoffs. 9 years where I'm sure we all know they've been the worst team in the league since the boat trip.
Yep.
I think they're probably the worst team in the league since 2012, too.
I think that's got to be tough because, I mean, my team's been pretty bad since then. The Jaguars have not been good either. So I think
it's going to be close, though. It's going to be, at least the Jaguars had that year. They were in the AFC Championship game. The Giants' year was only 11 wins. So I don't know. But even if they're not the worst, they're probably up there. And throughout that time, in the 9 years, they still have not said, we're bad, let's rebuild yet. It still hasn't happened.
The thing that alarms me is you look at that team. I mean, they've gone for you guys. They've gone at least 0-2 in 8 of the last 9 years. Not even we're collapsing late. It's they're basically ruining their season right at the start.
Actually, the opposite, which is again another reason why they're not giving up, is because they're starting 0-2. Last year they were 1-7.
Yeah,
but then they end 6-10. So the whole offseason is, at least we ended well. We're going to do well next year, and then it happens again and again and again. If it was the other way around, if they started
6-1.
That's a little much, but if they started 5-3 and ended 6-10, they would have fired the guys.
Yeah.
So people are holding on to their jobs because of that. So it's a really concerning season. And I mentioned this to a lot of people that what concerns me the most about this season is the defense, because it looks like 2017, how they were coming off hot of 2016's defense. Last year's defense was pretty good also. It was a pretty good defense last year. And now it looks awful. The same way it did in 2017, it looked awful.
Yeah, the thing that concerns me about that defense, I talked to WF fans Paul Latino preseason, this is the strength of the team. The secondary could be top 3 in the NFL. It's they have let average quarterbacks just slice them up. I mean, Taylor Heineke threw for over 350 yards. Teddy Bridgewater only had 8 incomplete passes in that game. Teams have been able to do whatever they want against the Giants so far. That's a big problem. The defense don't see the strength of the team.
Yeah, there's really no other way to put it, nothing to add to that. If your defense is the strength and you're getting lit up by, I'm not going to say Teddy Bridgewater's bad, but
average.
He's no Tom Brady, they're playing Tom Brady in a few weeks. I don't know how many, but maybe I think it's week 8 or week 9.
Yeah.
Then what? I mean, although you know what, somehow last year, when they were 1-7, or 1-6, they almost beat the Bucs.
Yeah.
Which is just weird. I don't know how they do that. Sometimes they just play to their They do play to their competition a lot. The Giants are usually in a close game. At least you get a little bit of an exciting game every week out of them, most of the time.
Yeah. How you feel about the head coach? Because I feel like now the shine started to come off of Joe Judge a little bit, because I feel like for a guy supposed to be disciplinarian, supposed to be, oh, I'm coming the Patriot way, we're going to be execute, execute, execute. They make a lot of mistakes.
I haven't. I can't say I don't like him, but the general idea is that he's so good and he's like protected. He seems like someone who, like, no matter what, will never, the Giant fan will never turn their back on them. And I want to just, stop all the Giant fans there and be like, listen, I don't think he is the problem with this team, but if they're not good, don't be afraid to say he's not good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he may not be part of the solution, may not be the direct problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for sure. And I think you look ahead to week 3. I mean, they got a game here against the Falcons coming in, who are also bad. This is a game that you want to have any kind of year, you have to win this game. Because you got Dallas coming up, you got the Rams coming up, you got a lot of good teams the next couple of weeks. So I think if you're losing this game going 0-3, it's going to be a very, very, very long season.
Yeah, I think they're going to win this game. I mean, they're favored in this game. I think they will win. Atlanta's bad, but Atlanta can score. So if the Giants are not going to score, they're going to lose. Simple as that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Atlanta put up 25 on Tampa Bay. They got a good defense. So they can put up, I can see them putting up high 30s on the Giants and having a shootout maybe. But is Jones good enough to win a shootout? We'll see. I mean, this is a pretty decent matchup for them.
Yeah. To be fair to the Giants, though, Atlanta's defense also stinks. They get up a ton of points to the Eagles week 1, 2, and the Eagles did nothing week 2 offensively against the 49ers. So I would think that this game's going to be high scoring.
Yeah, I would. If the Giants can do it, which if they can block somebody, I think they could.
Yeah.
Score 35 points or so, I think they have a chance to win the game. But I don't think they're going to win this game scoring less than 30, 35 even.
Yeah, this game is not going to be 21-17. It's going to be high scoring.
No, I think if you score 24 points, you lose.
Yeah. I could easily see that. I think this week is very important for them because, again, look at that schedule coming up here. I think the Cowboys are up soon. The Rams are up soon. The Saints, I know they're up and down, but they do have the capability to score a lot of points. Like, this could get very ugly.
Yeah, it could. And there were a lot of games going into the season that I looked at the schedule and I said, there's only like 2 or 3 games that I feel like they really can't win. And now that we're 2 weeks in and I see how they've played against these two teams, I flip that around and I go, there's only like 1 or 2 games on the schedule that I know they can win.
Yeah. And one of them is this week.
Yeah. Yeah. But going into the year, the only games that I was actually like, they have no chance are the Rams, the Bucks, and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Now I look at the Raiders. I'm like, there's no chance.
Yeah. It's one thing also, you look at the Giants here, it's like the thing about it more is like, those are 2 games here. Denver coming into the Meadowlands and Washington, I show you that Ryan Fitzpatrick. Those 2 games that like a team that's supposed to be contending should win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If the Giants were what people thought they were, now keep in mind, the rest of the world did not think this about the Giants. This is only in our market who thought this.
Yes.
That they were going to be good. If they performed that way, the people thought they would here, they would be 2-0, probably 3-0, and start like 5-3 or so, 4-3. But you got to know this if you didn't. So I know you do the over-unders on the show.
Yes.
The Giants over-under was 7.5. And if you took the under for the Giants, you had the worst odds of any over-under in the entire NFL. And if you took the over, it was the opposite. You had the best odds, meaning everyone took the under on the Giants.
Guilty as charged. So I took the under.
Yeah. I think that means based on the way the numbers were, I think it was like plus 180 to take the over and minus 160 for the under or something like that. Similar. That means they have the worst possible chance, if you want to go by the odds, to finish over their over-under.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
It tells you that the world at large does not believe the Giants are a good team.
Right. But I know in this area, most people, like myself included, I thought they would win 9 games, 8 games, finish around 500.
Yeah.
But now I'm, that's what I thought going into the preseason. And then as the season got closer, I just started saying to myself, if they can't block, they're going to win 4 games, 5 games.
Yeah. It's like, also it's weird because I compared to like my team where my team is young. I know they're supposed to be bad. Then they have these games where like last week, the quarterback is okay. And then the line can't block and they lose. And then this week, everybody but the quarterback played well. It's like, I'm going to see a lot of that where it's like some parts are bad, some parts are good. And like eventually they'll put together these complete game and just win one of these. I'm hoping at the end they become more consistent. The Giants, like that was supposed to be them last year. Now they're supposed to take the step forward. They haven't yet.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jets at least have something to look forward to. The Giants, I have to look forward to, is more negative.
Yeah.
I'm hoping more so that, let's say Jones is not the answer, that they find out now instead of wasting another year saying, is he the answer? Is he not the answer? But he didn't have a line. What if he had a line? What if someone gets hurt? What if like Galladay gets hurt? They're like, well, we can't really tell if he was good or not because Galladay was out. Like, I don't want any more excuses. Just see what happens this year. If he's not good, which I don't think he will be, get him out of here.
Yeah, for sure. And let's get to the picks. The reason you're here this week. And I got to say, last week on the picks here was not a banner one on this podcast. It was pretty bad. I'm going to say, just throw this out here at the start. Kevin Lillis is on last week for his picks. He went 0-3. He took the football team laying the points against the Giants. The Giants did get that right. They covered the number.
So I did too.
Yeah.
I took the football team laying the points, but I also bet on the Giants money line. So I lost both.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had that one. Yeah. The Steelers laying the 5.5 at home against the Raiders, and the Raiders came in one outright. That one shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah. That was a shocking game.
Yeah. And he also had, to cap it off, he had the Chiefs laying the 3.5 the Sunday night game against the Ravens. And I think
it was a great game.
It's a fantastic game. I can't blame him for that one because I would have taken that too. That's a tough spot to have all those picks go wrong.
Right. Yeah. That was a fantastic game. That was fun to watch.
Yeah. I also had a rough week here. I went 0-3 as well. It was not pretty here, dude.
What the hell's going on out here?
Take the Dolphins?
I had the Dolphins laying 3.5, getting 3.5 at home. Tua Tagovailoa gets hurt early in that game, and even then they got themselves around the building of the Bills.
If you took 10 3.5s, it still would have lost.
Yes. I had the Saints laying at 3.5. They laid an egg in Carolina. That one was not good either. I took the Falcons getting all those points, 11.5. Looked good for about 3 quarters, and Matt Ryan throws 2 straight pick sixes and ends my dream of getting a win.
Yeah, that wasn't the worst call because, in a game like that, you can be up by 10 and then just kind of call it quits, and then or be up 17 and then a garbage time touchdown. You end up 10, and that could be the game. So that wasn't that. That one was just kind of bad luck for you. When there's that many points involved, it's really just luck, I think.
Yeah, literally, if Matt Ryan throws one less pick six to Edwards, I win that pick.
Yeah.
Which is, again, just really bad luck.
Yeah, well, that's not easy. Bets are not easy. That's why that's why these people get paid in Vegas.
Yes,
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, so far, the Challengers here are 2-4. I'm 1-5. We need to get this ship moving in the right direction or start getting some wins on the board.
Well, team challengers can count on me.
All right, let's get this going here. You're up first for the Challengers. You have 3 picks here. Where are you going to pick number 1?
My number 1 pick, which is, I guess you could say my most confident, is Seattle. They're giving 1.5 in Minnesota. I think that Minnesota can't kick the ball at all, so they're going to lose a game probably by 3 points because of that. And I think Seattle, I just can't see Seattle starting 1-2. I think they're too good for that.
Yeah.
Now, you could flip side that and say the Vikings are too good to start 0-3, but are they?
It's a fair point. I mean, that game, I was looking at it at paper. I'm like, this thing's a really weird line because Seattle last week, a couple calls go their way. They probably beat the Titans at home. And then Minnesota, that kicker, my goodness, that was an awful miss to end the game there. And I don't trust either team in that game. So that's what I was like, I'm going to stay away from that game.
Well, go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Pick 2.
I'm going to do Tampa Bay, and I'm going to take the points there. I think Brady is still as good as he's ever been. I just think the Bucs offense is going to be really hard to stop, and that's just going to be a great game. And I really wanted to make sure that game specifically, I had something riding on so I can watch that game, and have some more rooting interest than just like fantasy purposes or whatnot.
Yeah, that game's going to be absolutely fantastic. And getting Tom Brady's underdog is always great value.
Yeah, Tom Brady in LA on prime time.
Yeah.
That's not much better, huh?
Not much better here. Where are you going for pick 3?
My third pick is going to be the Patriots, Tom Brady's former team, and they are giving 3 to New Orleans. So this is what I love about the NFL. We're 3 weeks in now, 2 weeks in, whatever. 2 weeks have passed. This is our 3rd week, and you can only kind of judge teams based on stories. So, like, I can see the Saints as they crushed the Packers, but then they got crushed by the Panthers. So in week 3, we're going to find out what's the real Saints. Is it the one that got crushed week 2 or the one that crushed week 1? I'm going with the one that got crushed week 2, and I think the Patriots are going to do a good job against them. But I could easily be wrong, and the Saints from week 1 can show up again.
Yeah, it's also interesting because I don't really know what to make of the Patriots either because I watched that game last week. They did not do that well against the Jets. I mean, the Jets gave them 16 points on turnovers right there, thanks to the Zach Wilson picks. And like Bill was playing check down Charlie with Mac Jones. And like this one where like, are they that good? Like, are they going to get smacked with a good team? And I don't know if New Orleans is it. So that's one that I'm probably staying away.
We got a lot to learn in this game, huh?
Yeah. And speaking of the Saints, if they are opening the dome against the Giants, that's going to be another brutal spot for them.
Oh, if that game is not in the dome, it's a decent game. If that game's in the dome, I would probably take the Saints minus a touchdown.
Yeah,
maybe 9.
Yeah. All right. Those are your picks on the board. So you're locking those in?
Lock them in.
All right. Pick number 1. I'm going head to head with you. One of your picks. I'm taking the Rams in that game, laying the 1.5 against the Buccaneers. I think this is a spot where Tampa played them last year in Tampa, lost the game. It was the front 7 got a lot of pressure on Tom Brady. They can do that. That's how you beat the Buccaneers. You get pressure on Brady up the middle of Aaron Donald. They have a great front. They have good secondary pieces, and they have the offense to score. Tampa has issues stopping you. We saw that with Dallas and with Atlanta. I think the Rams put up a big number here. I think the Rams are going to win this game. I think taking the Rams, laying the point, I'm going head to head with you on that.
I'm happy you picked that one because I like that we're going head to head on that because that's the game. That's the game of the week. Like the fact, what you understand the reasoning with all the TV stuff, but that should be the Sunday night game. I know it can't be, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the Fox game of the week, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, that's pick number 1. Pick number 2, I'm going to go underdogs the next 2 picks. I'm going to go to Sunday night, take the Packers getting 3.5 at Santa Clara against the 49ers. I know that's basically their boogeyman the last couple of years, the Niners in San Francisco, but I don't like the way the Niners have played the first 2 weeks. I know they're very banged up. Green Bay, I think the light came on the second half last night against the Lions. Aaron Jones had 4 touchdowns in that game. Aaron Rodgers made some big plays. I think 3.5. I like the fact they get the hook. Even if they lose, I think it's going to be a close game. So give me the 3.5 points of the Packers, pick 2.
Take that pick. Who is the Niners running back, huh?
Yeah, it's like good question. Depends who can actually get out of the injury report.
I have the guy Sermon fantasy, but I don't know. They have like 6 of them.
Yeah, so, one's got concussion, one's got an ankle, one's got a shoulder. Like they're all hurt.
They get a little bit of bad luck with injuries, the Niners, but that's a good game. That's a good pick too. That's basically a pick 'em, just San Fran's home, so they're getting the 3 there, I guess.
Yeah, and
so that's going to be a nice game. That's going to be another fun one. I mentioned that the Rams and Bucs should have been Sunday night, but this one I'm okay with being Sunday night if that's not.
Yeah, and the hook I think is big in that game.
Yeah, it's an exciting game.
All right, pick number 3. This is more of like a pick against this team laying this many points. I'm taking the Bengals getting 4.5 in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. I've watched Pittsburgh the first 2 weeks. I do not like what's going on with them. Ben Roethlisberger looks cooked. They could not move the ball at all against the Raiders. Najee Harris, I mean, he had that one big stiff arm play, not doing much against the run. The Bengals have been feisty the first 2 games. They beat Minnesota in overtime. They had a big comeback against the Bears. They almost came back to win that game. I'm getting 4.5 points, and I think this game's a field goal game either way because I think the Bengals will make enough plays here, especially if TJ Watt is banged up and he's a big key to that Steeler defense. I'll take the points to the Bengals. I'll bet on Joe Burrow keep this game close in Pittsburgh. That's my 3rd pick of the week.
How about Johnson? Is he injured as well?
I know he got banged up in the last game.
Yeah, is he going to be? I don't know if he's going to be okay. I know they announced it wasn't anything serious, but is he even going to play? That guy could be huge for them if he's not. For the Bengals, I like that pick. I think I agree with you on the Roethlisberger thing, especially. He looks cooked.
Yeah, he looks cooked, and if they don't block that punt, I don't think they beat the Bills week 1.
Yeah.
All right, so to reset the picks here, Nick is taking the Seattle Seahawks laying 1.5 in Minnesota against the Vikings, the Bucs getting 1.5 in Los Angeles against the Rams, and the Patriots laying 3 at home against the New Orleans Saints. I am taking the Rams laying the 1.5. I'm going head to head with Nick on that Ram-Buck game. I'm taking the Packers getting 3.5 in San Francisco on Sunday night, and the Cincinnati Bengals getting 4.5 in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Those are your picks for week number 3 here on the podcast. And next piece of business here, and you are in the knockout pool as well. The knockout pick is very challenging.
Yeah, it is tough this week. I went with the Rams in Cleveland and the first 2. And this week, I'm thinking I'm just going to take Buffalo. But what do you think?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I took the Niners week 1. They scared the hell out of me at the end there. The Browns, I took week 2 with you. And then I think if Tyrod Taylor doesn't get hurt, we lose that game. I'd be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too. So I know a lot of people say to save. And to me, I never save a team because you can try saving and then you're not there in week 10 to have it matter. So, I've seen so many games where even the top game of the week loses. So, to me, save. I always say this too. Week 1, I guess week 3 now, we don't really know who the good teams are yet. We have a 2-0 Carolina team. What if they're 8-1?
Yeah.
If they're 8-1, I would love to take them in week 11.
Yeah.
Week 10, whatever it may be, assuming they're bye week.
Yeah.
So let me pick the teams I know that are good right now. Like I know the Rams are good. The Browns are getting a little scared there.
Yeah.
The Bills I know are a good team. I know they had a slow start against Pittsburgh, but like these are the teams I know are good. The Chiefs, and then when week 8 comes around, week 9, maybe there'll be some new teams that are good in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you brought the Panthers up because that's actually where I decided to go. I'm taking the Panthers because on the short week against the Texans, because for me, I do not see any way Davis Mills wins that game on 3 days rest against a very good Panther offense and defense has played very well in the early going.
The Panthers, I think they're going to be a good team. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be flirting with it.
Yeah. I also like just the way that they played. The Saints one impressed me. I thought they didn't look that great as the Jets. They just dominated that New Orleans game. And Davis Mills with 3 days to get ready for that team is not going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Texans are rough. Like, what do they do? What is their plan?
Yeah, I have no idea.
They don't have a plan. They get rid of everybody.
And it also tells you that if Deshaun Watson was not playing this week when they had no quarterback here, he ain't playing for them this year.
No. Do you think he'll play anywhere this year, though?
I do not think he's playing anywhere this year. These teams are going to wait until this legal situation gets cleared up and figure out what's going on there because I don't think they want to trade for him and have Goodell say, oh, he's suspended for 8 games because of off-the-field violations. Yeah,
we've seen it before, too, where it happens at the end of the year. Like it happened to Elliott about 4 years ago or so. I think it was in his second year. He went out right around Halloween or so, or Thanksgiving maybe.
Yep.
So that you've seen that happen, and I'm sure it will again with him. Just a matter of, will they trade him? But, if he's out for, let's say, 8 games, will they trade him next offseason? I guess, right?
Yeah, I think it would be a next offseason. Let's see what happens with his legal situation, then figure out who needs a quarterback then, because the market now is not really that great aside from maybe the Dolphins.
I root for a team that I would love to trade for a quarterback, but don't see them doing it.
I don't see them either. Next week on the picks here, we're going to be joined by the great John Stanko making his NFL picks debut, and big Patriot guy. I figure with the big Tom Brady return to Foxborough next Sunday night, you get to get a Patriot fan in the building for that.
It's going to be a great one. Can't wait for that game.
Yeah, I think the drama will be much better than the actual football game itself is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree too. But at least it's in New England. I always say, if you're going to do a game where a good team plays a bad team on a primetime game, at least make the bad team home.
Yeah. I also think it's fortunate that this game came this year when you actually have fans there, and opposed to last year when it would have been an empty stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, just the luck of the draw. Once every 8 years, I guess they play there. But once every 4 years, they play them. So just luck of the draw that it turned out to be this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nick, this is not the last we're going to see you this month, because coming up next week, we're going to do, finally, I know it's been a little bit of a hiatus here because we've had a lot of things come up here. We're going to do Rebels Season 2 in the Sky Guys. So excited about that.
I'm very excited. I know we're both in the middle of watching it. I'm about halfway down, a little more right now, and I'm loving it. It's a great season. Yeah,
I finished episode 12 last night, so I'm enjoying what I
think I did too. I think that's what I finished last night as well.
Yeah,
so we're right on the same spot.
Yeah, we're right there. We got about 10 episodes to go. Plus, we have the shorts coming out this week, Star Wars Visions, which is the anime style shorts. I'm excited to see what those look like.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what that's all about.
Absolutely. And Nick, thanks for all the time again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll talk next week.
For sure. And coming up next on 2 Minute Drill, Nick, you saw the halftime of the Giant Washington game and talk about the Hard Knocks in-season reveal, right?
I did. That's a cool concept. I know people love Hard Knocks, so more Hard Knocks, the better.
Absolutely. I'll give my thoughts on what that could look like right after this.